I mold my opponent.
Highly conditioned.
US debut for Khabib Nurmagomedov.
The Bear Wrangler himself, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Ever wondered how Khabib Nurmagomedov trained to be so dominant inside the UFC octagon? Well, today I got you covered. We're gonna go over the schedule and training routine that he used to be the undefeated monster that he is. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phil Daru, performance coach and fighter for the past 15 years. I've worked with the likes of Dustin Poirier, Joanna Jedrzejczyk, Edson Barboza, Junior Dos Santos, just to name a few. But today, like I said, we're gonna tackle the undefeated one, the Bear Wrangler himself, Khabib Nurmagomedov. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so first we're gonna go over Khabib's training breakdown. So I'm gonna do the training schedule and the strength and conditioning, and then I'll do a mock schedule, and then I'm actually gonna go ahead and work through a full mock training session, what I would do to get him prepared for his next fight based upon all the methods that he's been utilizing and also the schedule, all right? So the first one we're looking at is, if you look at his schedule in camp, he did 2 to 3 a days. So basically he did 2 to 3 training sessions per day, usually around 5 to 6 days per week. A lot of training, a lot of high volume, a lot of frequency of training. He usually did 4 to 5 hours combined every day of training. So again, that's why he was so dominant. He was able to be highly conditioned and well prepared every time he went into the cage. All right, so from a mock schedule perspective, this is something that I would do to put it together for him. Mondays would be strength and conditioning in the AM, and then PM would be wrestling. All right, now wrestling could be takedowns, takedown defense, it could be live drilling, it could be live goes, whatever have you. Tuesday is gonna be hill runs and sparring on PM. So AM is hill runs, then he's gonna go back in the later afternoon and spar. Now this is gonna be stand-up and maybe takedowns, but mostly stand-up sparring. Wednesday, another S&C session in the morning, and then he's gonna go back in the evening and do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or no-gi drilling, live drilling, situational stuff. That's going to just keep him rolling because it is a Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, and then from there, on Thursday, he's gonna do something lower impact, but still increase his conditioning with a swimming or rowing type of protocol. So we're gonna do that in the morning, and then he's gonna do some type of sparring. That's gonna be, again, stand-up sparring with some takedowns. Friday, strength and conditioning in the morning, and then at night, they're gonna go ahead and do live MMA sparring drills, so that's gonna be situational. Once they get to the ground, then it's all grappling and submissions and so on and so forth. But this is gonna be highly simulated, but lower intensity. Saturday, we're gonna go into the hill runs. And usually, when you look at old training videos of Khabib and the Dagestanian fighters, I was out there at one point and these guys train very diligently, but hard, right? So running up those mountains, definitely at that higher altitude, is not only going to increase your endurance, your cardiovascular endurance, but it's also going to increase mental toughness. And that's something that they did consistently. So hill runs in the morning, and then they're gonna go back for film study at night, right? Now, Sunday is more of a recovery day. You can use sauna. They used to like to do cold plunge. Anything that's going to get them recovered and ready for the next week. All right, moving on to the strength and conditioning. Now, when it comes down to strength training, he did compound movements, very foundational, fundamental type of lifts. Bench press, squat, deadlift, so on and so forth. The goal with the strength training was to increase maximal force production, increase absolute strength. Again, it is taxing on the nervous system, so this is put in sparingly, and it's progressed, right? So high intensity, lower reps is going to get you that maximal strength that we want to utilize, especially for him being a very solid grappler, being able to take people down and hold them down at will. The next thing is going to be power and speed development. Now, he uses plyometric drills, jumping, bounding, skipping, hops. These things are gonna be very beneficial, not only for being able to be fast, elusive, be quick, right, explosive, but also to improve and recover on some of the injuries that he's had in the past, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Next is endurance, right? So you're working through anaerobic, aerobic, glycolytic, all the energy systems to not only get you prepared for the fight, but also to recover after hard bouts of intensity. right? So you're looking at high intensity, low volume, so that's your alactic capacity type stuff. High volume, low intensity, again, more aerobic work. Medium volume, medium intensity, that's gonna be your glycolytic or lactic capacity type of work. And he utilized, like we talked about, hill sprints, swimming, running, rowing, wrestling bears, did all of that, right? So when it comes down to it, we wanna look at all these things, and I'm gonna go ahead and put together a plan of action based on what I see here. So injuries that he's had in the past: 2 knee surgeries, a meniscus tear, reconstruction in 2014, and an ACLR in 2015. He's also had some back pain, so he had surgery on that in 2017. This can kind of make sense when you look at why he's doing more plyometrics after that 2014, 2015, and then also strengthening up the back, doing some core lifts and doing some foundational pattern movements to improve his core strength and improve on his mobility. All right, so quick rundown on my mock strength and conditioning training session that I would put together for Khabib getting ready for his next fight, all right? So first thing we're gonna do is a proper warm up. We're gonna do 5 minutes on the rower, something that he liked to do anyways, get tissue temperature increases, rev up the nervous system, and just prepare for the work ahead. After that, we're gonna do some light dynamic stretching for 5 minutes, then go into our plyometrics. Now the plyometrics should last around 10 minutes. We're gonna go through single leg hops, bounds, skips, pogo jumps like I talked about. We're also gonna utilize bands and med ball throws to not only increase his power, but his elasticity. And I'm gonna do the workout so you guys can see it. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is our strength portion. That's gonna last us about 20 minutes. And we're gonna go through some foundational patterns. Then after that, muscular endurance training. We're gonna do a circuit, a 10-minute circuit with several different movements along with a sprint interval. So that's gonna be done for 10 minutes total on a running clock, right? Then after that, you work on your recovery. He liked to obviously utilize basic stuff. Sleep and nutrition were key. He's talked about that in many different interviews. And then you also wanna look at ice plunge, which they used to do a lot of, sauna sessions, and massage work, right? Real quick, if you're looking to increase your hypertrophy, your strength, you want to eliminate or at least not go into an ice plunge directly after your training because you want your body to naturally adapt to the stress, all right? Anything else, sauna, massage, you can do that on the day off, like it says here on Sunday, to get your body prepared to do the work ahead in the next week. Now, let me get after it and let's get this session on. All right, first thing we got, 5-minute warm up on the row machine, all right? What we're gonna do is just keep it light, keep it consistent, not going too crazy here. We're just trying to increase tissue temperature, core temperature, get the body revved up for the work ahead. Let's do it. Bringing my heart rate up a little bit. Making sure we're getting to right about 110 to 120 beats per minute. All right, so we're gonna move on to dynamic stretching. Keep this thing light and just keep moving around. Get the body prepared, get some range of motion built in for what we're gonna do next, all right? So we got knee pulls, all right? Just knee pull standard, 1, 2. Get the chest up, bottom leg straight, pull it through. I'm gonna swing it up now, opposite arm, opposite leg, swing it up. 2 steps in between. Quad stretch. Side to side. Switch. Arm swings. Lunge. Rotate. All right, so now we're gonna move on to plyometrics. So the goal here is quick off the ground. Right? We wanna hit the ground and redirect force as fast as possible. It's gonna help with tendon stiffness. It's gonna help with elasticity. Being able to move in and out of the pocket, being able to get through and make sure he's getting those takedowns is highly important. So you're gonna need that explosiveness, and this is how we're gonna do it. So pogo jumps, we're gonna go hands on the hips. We're gonna jump up and down, make sure that you land on the midfoot and then get up as fast as you can. So we're here, quick. So notice I'm not just pointing my toes here when I go to jump. I'm not doing this. I'm going to flex my feet as I go to jump and then attack the ground every time I go to land. So it's attack the ground, redirect force. All right, so that's 2 sets of pogo jumps, both legs. So we're gonna go double leg pogo jumps, 2 sets for 10 seconds. All right, so we went 2 feet, now we're gonna go 1. So we're gonna go single leg pogo jumps, 10 seconds each leg. Right here, legs in front, and hitting the ground. Same concept. Shake it off, other side. So we went single leg and double leg, 2 sets through, 10 seconds each. All right, so now we're gonna go into up and back and lateral. It's called line hops. So all you're doing is the same concept, right? It's a plyometric movement, right? It's quick off the ground. We're gonna go forward and backwards. You're gonna get a line here, or you can use an imaginary line, but you wanna get over and back. So we're gonna go forward and back as fast as possible. Ready? Quick, 10 seconds. Do 2 sets of those. So we're gonna go 1A, 1B. We're gonna go side first, and then we'll go back to front to back. Here we go, same thing. All right, so we went double. Now we're gonna go single. Single forward and back, and side to side. First one we got, left leg, forward and back. Here we go, 10 seconds. Side to side. When you're doing these, you'll feel your intrinsic muscles of your feet strengthening, your calves, right? Your tibialis anterior, all the lower limb muscles turn on, have to contract fast. Let's go the other leg. All right, so now we're gonna move our way on to the upper body. Want to be elusive, want to be fast, want to be quick. So now I'm gonna use banded, light bands, a lot of repetitions. We're gonna go 20 seconds on, snap downs. Then we're gonna go bring it down to the floor and go into underhooks, right? 20 seconds as fast, rapid pace, a lot of reps, 20 seconds and then rest. 2 sets on both of them, right? So snap downs and underhooks, here we go. All right, while you do this, you wanna make sure you're maintaining that speed. If you have to, lighten up the band tension or lessen the duration of time. All right, so moving on to a ballistic and another power movement. So we're gonna go ahead, med ball slam into the ground, and then I'm gonna redirect, come up to a vertical and give me a knee tuck. So I'm gonna come down, boom, jump up, pull the knee to the chest. We're gonna do 2 sets of 5 repetitions with this. Here we go. Now, as I come down, all of my momentum is compressing. So I'm compressing my body, using that stretch, and then driving out of the hole, pulling my knees back up to my chest. All right, so worked in that sagittal plane going up and down. Now we're gonna work through the transverse plane and frontal plane. So I'm gonna work rotation and then lateral force. So I'm gonna rotation, throw, load my hip, and then redirect going the opposite way. 2 sets of 3 each side. Let's do it. So loading my hip, underhand, I'm gonna rotate, toss it through. As soon as it leaves my hand, I'm gonna drive off the opposite leg, rotate and jump laterally. 3 each side. Load the hip, right? We drive from the ground, from the feet to the hip, to the obliques, and let it go. As soon as it lets go, load the opposite side, drive, rotate the body the opposite way. All right, so we're moving our way on to the strength work, starting off with a floor press in a glute bridge position. I'm gonna go ahead and get a set, just a warm-up set here, get some band pull aparts for the first 2 sets. And then I'm gonna work into my working sets, which is gonna be 3 by 5 repetitions. So 3 sets of a working set. The first set is gonna be somewhere around an RIR of 2. Second set, RIR of 1. And then the last set, 1 to 0. So we're gonna go to failure on the last set. All right, so first working set down, I'm going into a glute bridge hold. So working the glutes, getting that hip extension, maintaining that position and stabilizing my posterior chain. We're also working a press variation from the floor, so it's a static overcome by dynamic. Really good for combat sport athletes, especially those that are grapplers. Now we're gonna move our way on to trap bar deadlift. So hinge variation, still working the posterior chain, a little bit of quads too as well. Maintaining this good lat position that we're gonna do. We're still gonna go 3 sets, but in this one, we're gonna go slightly higher volume, 3 sets of 6. All right, let's get into it. All right, so as you can see, we got the trap bar deadlift. The great thing about the trap bar is that the weight gets set up in the midline of the body, so it's not like a regular conventional deadlift where you have to kind of bend over, and you should have, it kind of puts your body in a bad position if you don't have the range of motion to get into that position. So we want to get to where it allows us to still get a hinge. We can still work a deadlift type of variation, but again, it alleviates the stress on the low back. All right, this is really good for takedowns, takedown defense, right, and just getting stronger overall. Great compound movement that you should utilize, especially if you do have the prerequisites from just a body mechanics and mobility standpoint. With your strength work, you want to rest about 2 minutes to maybe 3 minutes total for this particular rep range. Anything higher than 3 rep max, 3s, doubles, singles, for anywhere from 2.5 to 5 minutes of recovery. Since we're doing 6s and 5s, we can get away with 2 minutes. Just make sure that you're recovered appropriately so that you can put maximal intent to each rep and set. All right, so for the muscle endurance work, our conditioning portion, stay consistent, make sure you keep good form, but also make sure you're breathing properly. Let's do it. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you took something from it. If you want to train like this, be prepared. Trust me, there's no walk in the park. And if you want to find out any of my programs, anything like that, want to train under my tutelage, or just looking to do a program from me, hit the link down below in the description. If you like this video, show me some love, hit the like button, hit the notification and the subscribe. If you want to see more like this, hit the comments down below and let me know as I give you more. Maybe I'll do Dustin next, and maybe some other ones. See you guys next time. Peace.